Okay, thank you guys for coming to this support group. We are here today to talk about how you guys are dealing with your spouses being gone. They are deployed for different periods of time, whether it be short amount of time, long amount of time. So we're here to discuss how you guys are doing. We've been meeting for a couple weeks, and we're here just to keep working towards our group goals of being self-sufficient on our own and getting through this hard time together. So, Josh, why don't you start off and tell me how this past week has been for you?
This past week, since my husband's been deployed, it's been pretty tough because typically he always gets off work and he comes and we spend time together, and now we can't. It's been pretty hard.
Will you remind us how long he's been gone and how long he's gonna be gone for and all that type of stuff?
He's been gone for about a month now, and he'll be gone for 5 more months.
Okay. And Morgan, what about you? Will you tell us about your spouse and how long he's been gone and how you're dealing with it?
So my husband's been gone for, I think, like 3 to 4 months now. He has about 6 months left. This past week has been hard but easier than previous weeks because I'm finally like getting in routine of like living on my own rather than like, you know, relying on him in our routine together. You know, whereas we would get up, brush our teeth together, have breakfast together, sit on the couch and watch TV while we eat dinner together. Like every night we do the same things. So then it was getting hard for me. Like last week it was hard because I was having a hard time eating and sleeping, and like I would sleep way too long because I didn't have a reason to wake up, I felt like, and I would like forget to eat almost because I'm not cooking for 2 anymore. I'm not cooking at all. But finally this week I've been getting up and going to the gym and just getting into my own routine of things. So it's been a lot easier.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're doing at least a little bit better. Josh, do you feel like you've been in a routine yet, or do you still feel like you're kind of missing like y'all's routine that you used to have?
We have been missing a routine, or I have been missing the routine because we did the same thing every day as well. Going to work in the morning, same time, come back, same time, we eat at the same time. We used to work out together, and now we don't do it, and it's not as fun. Like, I'm still able to do the things I did before, like go to the gym and everything else, but it's not the same as it used to be. That's the hard part, is doing it without.
It's not as exciting.
That makes sense. I know in the beginning of the group sessions, we had talked about creating goals together and becoming self-sufficient and finding those things that we can do to enjoy life like on its own. Have you guys found those like hobbies or little things that you guys have done? Morgan, since you're in a routine, you said going to the gym, is that something that helps you a little bit?
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the gym before because I wanted to like spend every moment with him before he left. So now that I'm getting back into the gym, like that's something that I enjoy doing personally, and I think I found that I could potentially even still do when he gets back. You know, it's something that I think is good for me personally and beneficial for me.
Right.
I also like to, I've been taking my dog on more walks and stuff, and since it's just me and my dog, it's like, it's fun. We like to explore.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? Has there been new hobbies or anything that you've discovered that you like to do?
More hobbies, as in like whenever I have downtime and I'm doing absolutely nothing, I just watch TV, like series and stuff, get myself like my brain occupied on just something small instead of focusing on being lonely while he's gone. Then I can just do something, even if it's not an activity or something that's very time consuming, but I can have something to put my energy towards.
Right. Well, I'm glad to hear that for both of you, and definitely keep trying to do those things as these weeks progress and as the due dates get closer to them coming back. I want to talk about support systems a little bit. Do you guys have contact with your spouses? Do you have friends, family around? Do you see them? Do you just talk to them? Just dive into that a little bit and share your experience with like how your support systems have helped, or if you feel that you need a little bit more support, or if this group is the only support you have. Just different stuff like that. I just want to hear how you guys are doing with that aspect of it all.
So I don't have any family here or anything, but I'm in contact with my family. Like they check on me, they ask about him all the time, and partially his family too. And we could talk like every couple of weeks, and it's very brief whenever he gets the chance, but even still, like, I felt like I've dealt with it a lot on my own. I am on a Facebook page for like wives and other spouses their spouses are on the same deployment, so which is really helpful because they give a lot of advice, like personal advice, and everybody's going through the same thing. So it's really nice to like look and see that you're not the only one feeling this way or going through it.
Right.
And yeah. And it helps to like Josh was saying, how it helps to not dwell on it, rather than like, oh, I'm feeling so lonely, just kind of like enjoying the time you have alone, and like enjoying, like focusing on like your series rather than, you know, focusing on like being away from your spouse. And that was like a good piece of advice someone gave me once, was like in that support group on Facebook, they said to stop like dwelling on it and just like enjoy the moment. Like, for example, go to work and make your money and be glad you made your money and be happy with the customers and all that, rather than just feeling sad and being sad and kind of just like dragging it on.
Right. Well, that sounds good. Definitely thank you for sharing. I'm sure that could definitely help other people who are here and haven't had as much experience or contact with people that are going through like the same situation as you are. Josh, what about you? How are your friends, family supporting you, that type of situation?
I'm in contact with both sides of the family, so that's been good. And the only hard part is they have questions that I can't answer, because we haven't had contact in the last month, because it's been pretty deep over there where he's at. So it's been pretty hard in that aspect, because I don't know, and things that I don't want to think about that I can't answer.
Right.
Because I'm in the dark as well. But I mean, at the same time, it's just as hard for them. But we all have support within each other. Like, we're there for each other. And like she said, I've been at work and I've just been trying to focus on my job and everything. Like, I used to only focus on getting off of work, and now being at work and trying to focus on work instead of getting off of work has helped me. And it's made me like my job even more. So there's things that I've like been able to find that I didn't have before, and that have helped me a lot.
So it sounds like you are like getting to the point where you're discovering being on your own is okay, like Morgan is. She's a little bit farther along in her deployment, but it sounds like you're getting in a little bit routine, and both of you guys are like living within the day, and like you said, taking advantage of every situation you can, and just being present in those situations. I noticed Morgan said she was on a Facebook group. Has anyone else, mostly Josh, thought about joining anything like that, or been in contact with anyone that they've been deployed with?
I haven't really thought of a Facebook group, but it sounds like something I should look for. I didn't know that there was things like that. Maybe his deployment has one of those.
Right,
And
like specifically.
I can make friends through that. That'd be really nice.
Okay. So
And on the Facebook pages, there's a lot of people who are also alone. So, like, it's cool to meet up, or like he said, become friends. Like, everyone, a lot of people are alone through it too, so that's like the best part.
Yeah, it makes sense that you guys are going through this, and it's definitely tough. Have you guys had past experiences with deployments, or is this guys your like first one?
This is my first one.
This is my first one as well.
Okay. How did you guys prepare? I want to go back a little bit. We haven't talked about this yet. I didn't want to bring it up right away because emotions were still new. But since we're a little bit into the sessions, how did you guys prepare with your spouses before they left? Did you guys set boundaries about like what you expect from each other for communication? Did you not really think about it? Did you, like Morgan said, you try to spend every waking moment with them? Did you guys set boundaries, have those conversations, or is you just kind of went into it because you didn't know? Like, did you talk to people that have been through deployments before? Did you have a good idea about what it was going to be like, or that type of stuff? I just kind of want to hear your experience about how you guys felt before your spouses got deployed versus now, and if it's what you expected or if it's totally different, harder than you expected, stuff like that. It's like, Josh, you can go first.
See, for when we were trying to prepare for it, I guess you couldn't really prepare for it, but I had a friend at work, and she said that her husband went on deployment a long time ago, and that there's nothing you can do to prepare, so all you can do is spend your last moments with him. Not last moments, but like last moments before deployment, and that just is what it is. Like, you kind of have to be prepared to not communicate as well, because that opportunity doesn't really arise very often. So really, that's all that happened, was that we spent all of our time hanging out, and kind of something we prepared for is that while he's gone, maybe I can set something up for our success later. So if he comes back, maybe savings will be there. But like, preparation really wasn't a thing in our mind. Kind of went into it, like you said.
Okay. And what about for you, Morgan? What was your experience before your spouse got deployed?
So since this was my first one, I really didn't know what to expect. But we tried a few different things. We were preparing for a while, like for months, like at least 3 months. We were preparing because we were dreading it, both of us. So we tried a few things. We tried things like spending every second with each other, texting every second we're not together. But then again, we also tried not talking when we're not together, not texting, not calling each other, seeing each other only when we get home. And that didn't seem to work. We really didn't like that. We really liked talking to each other because we realized we felt like we were missing those moments where we could be talking and, just like, we didn't want to take advantage of it, So we tried to prepare, but it didn't really work out. And it is a lot different than I expected. It's hard. It's as hard as I thought it was, but I never thought it would get easier. It's gotten easier since I have gotten into my routine of doing my own things, and I feel like I don't have, I'm not focusing on when I can talk to him.
Right.
Although every time my phone goes off, I freak out a little. But yeah, so we try to prepare a little in a few different ways, but we mostly spend a lot of time together and alone time. We stopped going out. Like, we went out a lot less because we wanted to, like, be more intimate with each other. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you both for sharing again. I know a lot of times when you guys are dealing with like these tough situations, it might impact like other areas of your life, such as work, family, friendships. You might be more stressed out because you're missing them. Have you guys felt that at all, or do you guys just feel like you said, like once you're in the routine, you're experiencing it better?
Wait, what'd you say again?
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, because when you go through tough situations and you're like stressed out, sometimes it can impact like work or like other relationships because of...
Is it impacting?
Yeah, so
Okay.
Is it impacting like other areas of your life, like work or other relationships that you guys have, or was it at first and now it's not?
At first it was for work, because it made it harder for me to wake up every day and have motivation to go do something, because I'd be like, what am I doing this for? It's like, it's not that I had anything to bring home to someone anymore. It was like, what am I doing this for myself? Like, I'd rather just sit here and do nothing. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, you can do things for yourself. you know, like you don't have to rely on somebody else to have the motivation to go do something. You just want things for yourself and want to get better. So at first it did impact my work, but now it doesn't. It didn't really impact my family or anything like that. Like I didn't treat anybody any differently just because I was in a bad mood.
Right.
But yeah, work was a big one.
And what about you, Morgan?
So impact, yes, but not in necessarily a negative way, I should say. Where I would say I'm a lot closer with my family now because like I said, I'm alone. I want to talk to them. I talk to them a lot more, and they're constantly checking up on me. So like my relationship with my family has definitely gotten a lot better. But like he said, with school, it's like not school. With work, I was just like it was affecting it because I didn't want to go in either. Like every day, I was dreading going into work, and then being there was just miserable. Like. But now it's getting better. My friendships too, I feel like I've been a lot more distant with my friends just because I'm feeling a way that they will never really understand, you know? So I've just been, which is hard to explain to someone who's never been through it. So I feel like it is taking a toll on some of my friendships.
Right.
But.
And I think that's one of the great things about having a support group is that like, y'all's situation might be different, but similarly, like you guys have somewhat similar situations going on, so you guys can relate to each other in that way. So not talking about the beginning, but talking about the end. I know that you guys have still quite a ways away until they come back, but are there specific things that you guys are like planning to do? Are you guys taking time off of work? Are you guys gonna go away somewhere? Have you guys thought about them coming back at all yet? I just want to hear a little bit about those plans.
So we are planning on going to Michigan. I don't know why we want to go so bad, but we just want to go. He has some friends that stay there too, so we're going to visit some friends. But that's been one thing we have to look forward to. But we've been planning this since before he left.
Oh.
So it's like every time we do talk, we talk about how we can't wait to go to Michigan and up north and.
Right, so it gives you something like more to focus on.
Exciting to talk about as well.
Right, exactly.
And other than that, I'm planning on taking a week off of work just to like catch up, you know?
And what about you, Josh?
I plan on just saving the money up, so whatever he wants to do when he gets back, we can do it. We don't have anything planned, but whether it's he doesn't want to go anywhere and we have to have fun here, or if like, to be honest, like if he wants something, like whatever he wants to do, like I want to do it. So like that's all I'm prepared to do. Like it doesn't matter. I'm not the one who's been gone. So like if I wanted to do something while he was gone, I could have gone and done it. Like I want him to do whatever he wants to do. Because I know he gets leave when he gets back. So like.
How long does he have for leave? Do you know?
He should probably have at least 10 days that he can take. So hopefully he'll want to take at least 7.
Yeah.
And leave is having time off of work, right? Okay, cool. So just to finish up here, I just want to ask, what is like the best piece of advice or like the best thing you could like tell someone who's going into their first deployment and is like nervous about it because we're gonna get new people in this group eventually and the group might grow. They might come in more nervous and not sure what to expect right away. So if that were to happen, what was like the one thing that you've either heard before or that you've experienced that you would like tell other people to like make them hopeful or make them feel a little bit better about going into the situation?
I'd say one thing to try to do before your spouse deploys is find things you're interested in or hobbies that you like to do before. So you can already like have these things that occupy your time, and then whenever your spouse leaves, not to sound like replacing them with something, but you already have something that you know you like to do and use it as time. Like, well, if he's gone, at least I have more time to do this hobby.
Right. And what about you, Morgan?
I would say to like not go in with any expectations. Don't expect to hear from them. Don't expect to not hear from them. Don't expect to be updated about everything. Don't expect to know what's going on. Don't expect anything. because you won't like just go in with no expectations, because you're kind of just throwing a ball in the dark.
Right.
So that's what I would say.
Okay. Well, those are great pieces of advice. I think we actually do have a new person joining us next week, so I'm definitely going to have everyone go around the group and share what, like, again, go over a little bit about what we talked about today and this week in the beginning.